don't think it's. I literally just don't think it's true. Now I'd have to talk to him to get more context. But now to go to Armada's question, right? Where it's like, how good would Armada be right now? Like if we took Prime Armada and put him into the scene right now, where would he be? Who would beat him and whatever?
Top three.
Um, you think he'd be top three?
Yeah.
So who would he do well against? Who would he lose to?
I think he gets shat on by Zayn. Like,
So that's the thing, right? I was thinking the same. I'm like, dude, I think he just dodged a bullet. He dodged like the biggest bullet of all time. You have a player who is a Peach Fox main, right? And the Fox is the secondary, right? And he runs into the greatest, like the best Marth we've ever seen by far, right? This is like the biggest bullet dodge ever, right? Peach, arguably worst matchup in the game is Marth, right?
yeah.
And Fox, worst matchup in the game is Marth.
I think
And there's no way his secondary Fox could even touch Zayn. Like it's just not gonna. It wouldn't happen. And then his Peach, like his Peach was having a hard time with Mewtwo. You think he could handle Zayn? Like, I don't know, man. I don't. I press X to doubt. Like I feel like it would have been bad.
one sec. Rio beats in the chat. So like then the way I look at it, right? Like if it only takes PPMD giving Mewtwo a few notes, that Mewtwo can go game 5 in Marth Peach, despite Mewtwo never really playing that much towards like the end. Like you have a guy that's like grinding the hell out of the game. Like I mean I wouldn't be terribly surprised if Armada took like a best of 5, but like if I would put 3-1, 4-1 odds on Zayn.
Yeah, and obviously Armada would get better too. He might even have to pick up a new character, right? Like,
is this
but
Fox winning? Like,
his Fox just wouldn't win. I really don't think. I mean, maybe if he made it better and better and better, and like that became his like solo main eventually and transitioned. But I just like, dude, he would have a hard time. And this is crazy because we're talking about the greatest player of all time.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm in my head, I'm like, nothing we saw from him tells me that he wouldn't get just mollywop. And this is like one of my. I love Armada. I'm a huge Armada fan. I miss the man.
Yeah.
But there's you cannot look at the VODs of like the Marth Peach gameplay and look at Zayn now and be like, yeah, that Marth would have just destroyed that Peach. Like it's just not true. Like it would not be. I don't think it would be. Maybe he'd take a set. I don't know, like a few sets, but overall it'd be like 90-10. I don't think it'd be close.
Yeah.
So sure, against Mango's a lot better now.
Yeah. Like Armada still has FD, right? And like having a best of 5 set where like one stage is going to be like 75-25 is like huge, right?
Also, Mango's better now as Falco. He hasn't been training as Fox.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so Mango had already kind of gotten a lockdown on Armada's Fox near the end, right? Like pretty much Armada wasn't going Fox against Mango because Mango's just it's not gonna be close, right? So it became Peach Fox usually, right? But Mango's Fox hasn't been playing that much, so I think he'd probably do okay against Mango still.
I
right?
think that's like a toss up, right? Like I don't think the matchup as a whole evolved significantly much between like Peach and Falco. That like Armada just with a few adjustments would probably be up to par.
Well, I mean, would Mango go Falco?
Yes,
You
he
know,
would.
like, well, if he would, then I still don't know, right? Like, I don't know. Then maybe it's Armada favorite even.
Yeah.
I don't know. Prime Armada, like, it's hard because I feel like Mango's gotten so much better that I want to give him credit, right? But Prime Armada is pretty goddamn good.
Yeah. This is Prime Armada, like so, and even then, like, what was it 2018, 2019 Armada? Like, I forget when the year he exactly quit. Like, he wasn't. I don't think he was in prime form at that point. And then you look at the field, right? Like, I think universally, like, we put random top 5 to 20 player against Armada that isn't like Leffen. We go like, okay, like this player has like a 2% chance of winning. Like, I think that has shifted to like 5 to 10%, right? Like, if you put none like none against Armada, right? Like, do you think he takes more sets now, right?
Yeah, but that's none. None is like if you actually think about it, like we have to stop and think sometimes because it's hard because Slippy is and this online era has made it tough. Like there's a great argument to be made that none is better than Plup right now, right?
Yeah, he is.
Like,
and at least in online, he's better, in my opinion.
Sure. And if that's the case, then a none loss wouldn't even be that bad. Armada could still be a top 3 player in the world and lose to none occasionally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't use none as the example. The question I would ask is like, would none lose to would Prime Armada lose to have occasional losses to the Gingers of the world, right? Like really solid player, like in the top 15, 20, whatever. And I don't think he would.
I mean, I
I don't
think the
think
number
Armada.
shifts, right? Like, because I think saw the tail end, like Armada having more and more close calls, where like another 2 years kind of does change things. Again, this is the point. Like Armada's still top three, like, and even only losing 5 to 10% of the sets is still incredibly good. Like, who else can really boast that kind of like level of consistency? Where like,
Sure.
um, like Armada's Peach was struggling with like Dewan Sheik, Pleb Sheik. So like I do think with the continuation of like more standard play, like the Sparks and the Face Rolls of the world, that they would figure out certain matchups.
You think Face Roll would beat Armada? Nah. Nah. No. I
I mean,
don't think
Armada
so.
would just play Fox, right? And he would like 3-0 Face Roll, right?
It would, yeah, it would. No. You see SFAT still beating Spark, right? That's still a thing.
It's
You
like
think
going to game.
Armada's losing?
It's like going to game 5 now, right? The point being, like, it's
Okay,
not
sure.
like it
But
hasn't shifted. I'm never.
dude, no, Armada would beat Spark, bro. Like, come on. Like, we gotta be real with it a little bit. Armada would beat Spark pretty much every time. I'm not even sure if like he picked up a controller now without practice, if he wouldn't beat some of the guys we're listing,
Yeah.
And I say that as not a diss on those guys. It's just like this is Armada we're talking about. Like we're talking about the greatest player of all
But
time.
even again, like I'm not
we're
saying
talking
like,
about God who like come on, who are we talking about right now?
I'm not saying like it's like a 50-50. I'm saying it's like we've gone from 0 to like 3 to 5%, right?
No, I still think it's 0, bro. I
You
think
still
you're
think it's
wrong.
0?
I think it's 0. Yes. You think that Captain Face Roll has a chance in hell against Armada's Fox?
Not Armada's.
No!
No. Just to clarify, I was saying Armada's Peach.
I don't think he has a chance in hell against Armada's Peach. I don't think he has a chance. No, and I say that with all due respect. I think Griff has gotten so much better. I think one day maybe like you're talking about the greatest player of all time. Like there's what in Captain Face Roll's career tells you that he could touch a greatest player of all time level.
I mean,
player,
Face
right?
Roll
Come on.
6-0ing Mewtwo.
Is Mewtwo was Mewtwo ever as good as Prime Armada during that 6-0 set? No.
I mean, but like I think you're underestimating like Face Roll like here.
I don't think I am. I say this like I think he's amazing. And I think he's like gonna get really good and keep getting good, really good. And same with Spark. Like a lot of these people who are listening, I think they're amazing.
How about a Wizzy?
I think Wizzy would take sets. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think he'd maybe I don't know. Wizzy's tough.
Yeah, I mean the other part here is right. Swedish beat Armada, and like you're making it sound like Swedish Delight is significantly better than Spark or like Face Roll, and I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case. But also, you're literally listing one best of 3 loss in fucking a 15 years, like a 10 year, in a 10-year span. Again,
like that's like what the 3 to 5% is, right? It's not. We're not.
But dude, one best of 3 loss in 10 years is not 3 to 5%. That's like 0.01%. that's like my guy didn't lose. Like come on. And that was a close one too.
Yeah, but like I think Face Roll and Spark are way better than what Swedish was in that year. And so like again, like it's not I'm arguing for just a few percent. I'm not arguing that they're like a 20% chance. I'm arguing that they're 3 to 5, which is like a 1 out of 33 chance. That's quite big.
I think a 5% chance is in Melee. So I was talking to my boy Sham too, who was like, I posted something about unranked or whatever. I was like, dude, I lose way more games to Sheik and Falcon than I do against other characters. But I like talk about like, I still win 70% of my games ish. But like it's annoying that like I like literally don't like I go entire days without losing an unranked game, and then I face against a Sheik or a Falcon. It's like fuck, I could lose this, right? And he was like, dude, 70%, isn't that like really good? In Melee, if you're better than someone, like Armada like you saw friendlies, right? Like he'd have 100 friendlies against someone who's top 20 level, and he would not drop one.
Yeah,
right. That's normal in Melee. Right. So when you say 5% for guys like that, I'm like thinking back to how I saw Armada play 100 friendlies with people and not drop games. I'm like, that doesn't sound like 5% to me. That sounds like 0%.
Okay.
Right?
Well, then like I have to regress.
And you're talking about, and you're also talking about best of 5. You're saying them taking 5% to take a best of 5 set. So you're not asking them to take 5 games in 100. You're talking them to asking them to take 3 games in 5.
Yeah.
So it's like, to do that, you have to at least in like the games in general have like a 20-30% win rate on each individual
Right.
game, like to even do that
I mean,
occasionally.
here's like my other argument though, like like the logic here, like there have been so many sets that like were just on pins and needles, right? The S2J Genesis set, like Axe, took him to game 5, right? Like I think with like 2 years of extended practice, like I have to think that like that pushes them over the edge in those kind of sets, right? Where like Armada leaves with like 4 additional losses if each of those players have an additional like 18 months of grinding. Like I don't think that's like an unreasonable like jump to make.
But why? Like, so